This is the Business of Leadership Series Minute with your host, the best-selling author of Don't Buy a Duck and founder of MarketingStrategyHero.com, Derek Champagne.
I'm very excited today to have my friend on, Theotis Matthews J.D, Dr. Arthur Matthews, a university lecturer at institutions such as NYU, the University of Arkansas. He's a bilateral-preneur of a firm titled ConsciousTrainers.com. Talk to me about stress.
Okay, so thanks, Derek. I appreciate that. You and I actually, one of our first conversations, I told you that not only am I excited about my use of metaphors and anecdotes and abbreviations, but I have these Arthurisms, which is an extension of my first name. And it wasn't until I reached 40, which was 22 years ago, I'm 62 years young, that I actually embraced the initials ATM, which are Arthur Theotis Matthews. But Strauss is one of my first, if you will, Arthurisms that I decided to create, catapult, develop, and spearhead when I was graduating from law school. I had worked on Capitol Hill a little bit, being in Washington, D.C., and I always heard the P word being thrown around, and I didn't even use it in a sentence, but I'll give you a famous line from a movie, and everybody will know what it is. Houston, we have a blank. And so I was very intentional and deliberate about saying, you know what, I'm going out into the world, I'm being deputized, I've been influenced by the Honorable Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall, who I met unbelievably as the president of the student body, yes, at Howard Law School, and spent 30 minutes with him before he spoke to a group of 1,000. And I just thought, you know what, I'm about to undertake and embark upon this sojourn. How can I create some change I'm in my mid-20s? How do I create a framework going forward? Strauss is a situation that requires a solution. And I have shared this with my students. I have shared it with my clients. I've shared it with everybody in my orbit to try to get them to think differently about different conflicts that we may face. And so Strauss just means that we embrace it. We don't let it sit there like the P word often does, which sits there in suspended animation. A situation that requires a solution demands that as leaders, we take action. So it's action oriented. And no one in the Matthews household, Derek, uses the P word. My 16-year-old grandson earlier this year said, "Grandpa, you got a few minutes? I've got a situation that requires a solution." And he's a teenager, Derek. So we sat down for 10 minutes, we talked about it, and then together in collaborative fashion, we came up with a solution to his situation. And so it's just a way of reframing. And I have students, Derek, from 20 years ago, 25 years ago, who find me on LinkedIn or, email me and say, "Professor Matthews, thank you so much. Strauss has actually been a game changer, not only in my professional life, but in my personal life."
Derek Champagne here. Hey, if you're feeling isolated right now, if this health scare has got you working remotely or you're feeling uncertain, I want to invite you to check out my mastermind. Come join us. It's DerekChampagneMastermind.com.